Howdy friends. Today we're going to start off by reviewing one of our multiplication topics, and then we're going to learn about ordered pairs and how to plot them. And that's going to be something brand new, but we'll worry about that when we get there. For now, let's do some multiplication. A long time ago we did our multiplication. You guys rocked it. But one of the things that we struggled with was 2-digit times 1-digit numbers. So that would be something like this. Okay? We have a 2-digit number, 12, and we have a 1-digit number, 4. So 12 times 4. And the way we set this up, it's just like an addition or subtraction problem. You can do a T-chart like this. We've got our 1s, we've got our 10s, and we always start in our 1s place. Now, we are multiplying, and we have to remember that. So the first thing we do, we start in our 1s, we do 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. If you don't remember that, you can do your set model, you can do an array, an area model, whatever you'd like. But we know that 2 times 4 is 8. That goes in our 1s place. Now, this is where it gets a little bit different. We're going to go diagonally, like this. Now we're going to do 1 times 4 to get our 10s place. 1 times 4, we do our identity property of multiplication, is 4. That goes in the 10s place. Okay, and that gives us our answer. 12 times 4 is 48. We start in the 1s, we go straight down, and then to get our 10s place, we go diagonally. We do the number in our 10s place in the top, times our 1-digit number on the bottom. Alright? So, let's do one that's a little trickier, with a little regrouping. Let's do 18 times 3. So, again, we can draw our T-chart, help us with our 10s and 1s. 1s and 10s there. Start in the 1s place, we go straight down. 8 times 3 is 24. Now, 24 is a 2-digit number. We cannot write a 2-digit number in the 1s place. That's because we can only have 1s there. So if we write 24 over on the side here, we see that we've got 1s and 10s. Only digits in the 1s place can go in the 1s place in our answer. So only that 4 can go here. This 2, these two 10s, or 20, can go over here to the 10s place, just like we did if we were adding or subtracting or something like that, and we're regrouping. So now we're going to multiply across. We have 3 times 1 now. Again, our identity property multiplication. 3 times 1 is 3. And now here's the tricky part. We've got to remember this. And it's just like addition with regrouping. We just add that in afterwards. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 2, so we've got 3 plus 2 is 5. And that 5 is what goes in our 10s place here. Okay? So, I want to break this down a little bit for you so you can see exactly what's happening here. So, let's set up our problem again. It's 18 times 3. And we know that it's 54. All right, I'm going to write the answer right there. And this is what this problem actually equals. This problem is actually 8 times 3 plus 10 times 3. Because 8 and 10 are what this number breaks down into. If we break it into expanded form, we know that it's 10 plus 8. Okay, we have a 1 in the 10s place and an 8 in the 1s place, so it's 10 plus 8. So 8 times 3, we know because we memorized our facts, is 24. Plus, and we know 10 times 3 is 30 because we have 3 10s, 10, 20, 30. So it's 24 plus 30. And if we set that up like a normal double-digit addition problem, like this, 1s and 10s, start in our 1s place, 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 3 is 5, we get 54. Okay, so that's what's really going on when we do our regrouping with multiplication. It seems a little strange when you're just looking at the multiplication, but when you break it down like this, it makes a lot more sense, I hope. If you have any questions, ask me. But for now, let's move on to ordered pairs and our probability unit. So when we did graphing, when we did bar graphs, we talked about our axes. We had an x-axis and a y-axis. And there's a reason that we made you learn those things. And that's mostly so that we can teach you how to plot ordered pairs. And this is just another way of showing information or data. And so an ordered pair looks like this when you see it, not on a graph. It could be something like that. It's two numbers separated by a comma, and they have parentheses around them. This ordered pair is 2, 3. And each of those numbers is in a specific place. Their order matters. So 2, 3 is different than 3, 2. And that's because inside of those parentheses, there are these places called the x place and the y place, like this. The x place tells us how far over we go on the x-axis. The y place tells us how far up we go on the y-axis. And wherever those two sections meet is where our point goes. Remember our geometry terms, point? So I'm going to make some kind of arbitrary marks on my axes. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and they're about equal-ish or so. We'll talk about grid paper later, but for right now we're just going to think of it like this. So if I want to plot the point 2, 3 on my coordinate plane, which is what this will be called later, I need to go over 2 on the x-axis. So here's 1, here's 2. So it's going to be somewhere on a line like that. We don't know how high yet. We need to look at our y number. So we need to go up 3. So 1, 2, 3. And so we can draw a straight line across there, and our point would be right there. That's point 2, 3. Okay? And now usually you'll have grid paper that will look something like this. That will make this much easier to plot. And you'll just count over, you'll just go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. And you'll be able to figure it out. So let me draw an actual grid for you. And we'll start off with that. Okay, so sorry my lines aren't going to be straight, but I'll do the best I can. So this is our x-axis, and this will be our y-axis. Okay, our y-axis going up. So if I have the point 4, 2, and I need to plot it, let's call that point A. So I want to plot point A at 4, 2. So I count over, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be somewhere on this line, right here. Okay, let me change color so you can see that a little better. It's going to be on this line somewhere. And we need, it's 4 over, and the y coordinate is 2. So we need to go up 2. So let's do that in yellow. So we go 1, 2. And so our point A is right there. All right, now let's say we have a point B. A point B that is 3, 1. Like this. Okay. If we want to plot that, we go over 1, 2, 3. And we go up 1, because that's what our y-axis is, our y-coordinate, over 3, up 1. So it's right here. This is point B. Okay? So this is just kind of an introduction to this. If you don't get it, that's okay. We're going to talk more about it in a small group, and we'll spend a couple days on it. But for right now, I really want you to remember that ordered pairs are two numbers, and one of them stands for the x-axis, and the other one stands for the y-axis. And they're usually listed like this. All right? And it matters the order. It cannot be yx. That is not how it works, okay? So 3, 2 is different than 2, 3. They are not the same points. All right? So just remember that. There's an IA quiz for you. Work hard, show your work. Good luck.